What's going on, guys? You all here, and welcome to Confabulate, the podcast where you talk about anything and everything. I'm your host, Will Sanchez. Thank you so much for stopping by. And this week, you guys, we have Barbra Ann Wagner coming on the podcast. She is someone that I met last semester at a music business class at CSUMB. We worked together for a project and a presentation, and we kind of just really hit it off since the beginning. And I'm very excited that she's a part of this podcast. Part of the reason why I am doing this is I have a final for one of my classes this semester, and I got so happy when I found out what the assignment was. It was to interview a local musician, and I thought of Barbra right off the bat. So I'm very happy that she was able to work with me, and we were able to record this on campus, and it was super fun, and I loved getting to know her better. She is so gifted, so talented, so sweet, and I love this episode. Thank you so much, Barbra. Hope you guys enjoy it. All right, let's do this. So I think we can start. I just want to say thank you again for doing this. So my professor, Violet, she assigned one of our finals to interview a musician.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh my God, that's such an easy thing because that's what I do. I love interviewing people.
Yeah, I know. It's awesome.
And I thought of you, and I thought of John Turi as well, which
there you go.
I know you know John Turi.
Yup, awesome guy.
But he's very busy, and I was already scheduled to interview him end of May. So I'm like, oh, that's a little too far. So I thought of you. Thank you for saying yes.
Of course. Thank you for asking me.
It took less than a week for us to plan, so thank you so much for doing it so quickly too, because I know finals are coming up. I know you're busy. But yeah, I had to interview a musician. And I think we could start first. I got to know you last semester. We had a class together, Intro to Music Business. Thoughts on the class? How did you like it? And yeah.
Yeah, so that class was honestly really fun. I loved the professors, Colleen and John. They were awesome. We had a lot of fun moments in there. It was confusing at some points where I was like, there was expectations that I felt like we didn't even know of until we submitted it, and they're like, well, you should have had this, and I was like, I didn't know that existed. So but other than that, I learned a lot from the class, and it was awesome to kind of I guess test my skills and knowledge on that kind of aspect of music, which is why I'm majoring in business, because I was like, I don't want to major in music. I'm already doing music. I've figured my own thing outside of school. I want to do something that I know I can rely on if music doesn't always come, in the way that I want it to or whatever. So, it was awesome that I got to take that class my first semester. It was super exciting for me. So I was like, oh my gosh, this is kind of what I'm going to be getting into and things like that. So I liked it.
You kind of have the best of both worlds with business and music.
Yeah.
When are you going to graduate?
2028.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Nice. A little bit to go.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But yeah, that's
I'm a
really
freshman, so I'm this semester has literally been killing me.
Yeah, it's been rough.
Yeah, with everything else going on in my life, it definitely it's a lot. It's time consuming. So it's trying to balance everything. I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm so close to this semester being over. Please just let me have all A's and I'll be happy. So yeah.
Yeah, I'd love to talk to you about music. That's one of my assignments, to ask about music. So you're probably going to say you've been singing your whole life, you've loved music, but tell me about your first love with music. When did it start, and how did you know it was a big passion of yours?
Yeah, so I think the story I always tell is I started singing when I was 3, and that's true. I started performing in front of crowds since I was 3 because my dad was a drummer. And he was in a whole bunch of bands and stuff like that. And so I just was in the womb surrounded by music. Cool. And that sounds really cliche, but I mean, I can't get any closer to the truth with that. So, but yeah, I think what started my actual love for singing, where I was wait, I want to do that. I was super young and I was watching American Idol and I was watching Carrie Underwood and I was
wow.
Oh my goodness. I don't think I don't think it was when she was actually auditioning, because I think that was before I was born, maybe. I don't remember if it was a rerun of the show that I was watching, or something on YouTube. But I just remember seeing her on American Idol, and then I like started getting into her songs, and I was like, I want to sing that. So got little 5-year-old Barbra Ann trying to sing Jesus Take the Wheel, and that kind of was what started it. So yeah, and then I just started singing with my dad's bands and stuff like that, and kind of getting my name out there in the local music scene, because I'm originally from Gonzales, but I was like always around here in Monterey County and stuff. So yeah, that's kind of how it started.
That's so cool.
Thank you.
Carrie Underwood's version of How Great Thou Art is my favorite.
Oh, yes.
No one will ever top it. She does it so good. Oh, my goodness.
No, I totally agree. Anytime, because I sing for my church, and anytime they're like, let's do How Great Thou Art, I'm like, listen to the Carrie Underwood version, because that's what we're doing.
It's insane.
Yeah. You're right. It can't be topped.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of hers too. I love Spinning Bottles. Her whole album of Cry Pretty, I love.
Oh, yeah.
That's one of the things we connected on. I saw her in Vegas.
You brought me that little
a magnet.
Yeah, magnet. I have it on my little. I have like a little whiteboard in my dorm, and it's on there. So.
Yeah, I brought you a magnet. Yeah, because I was in Vegas for a couple of days, and I'm like, let's see who's playing when I'm here. And I saw Carrie. I'm like, oh, I have to go to that.
For sure.
It was amazing.
Yeah, you are honestly blessed to be able to see her. I hope one day I will be able to, but we'll see.
And she's coaching American Idol right now.
Yes, she is. And I was like, oh my goodness. I actually auditioned for American Idol like multiple times, you know what I mean? But I didn't audition for that year, and I was like, you're kidding. Carrie's on there now. I gotta audition again in case I get on.
You have to. That'd be super cool.
Yeah, if I got to meet her, I'd probably freak out. But yeah.
Can you tell me about your audition process with it? Because I've also auditioned for American Idol one time and The Voice one time.
Okay.
And for me, I don't think I would do it again. Well, I'm a lot better now, but this is like when I was much younger, 18, 19.
Yeah.
Because it's hard to not compare yourself to a lot of other people. If you're standing in line with so many people rehearsing and practicing and they sound so great, and you see there's way too much talent. I was put into like these groups with people that are so amazing, so talented, and none of us in the group made it through. And I'm like, this is such a tough industry.
Yeah, so I like started auditioning for a lot of TV shows, like obviously when I was younger. The ones that I went in person for was America's Got Talent. Now that is a whole new thing in itself, because you don't only have musicians and singers, you have like a wide variety of people and their talents. So that was honestly a really cool experience, to be around people that were doing other things. And the process is all like super long. I was there for like hours. It was draining.
Mine was 8 hours.
Yeah. And didn't make it through. For The Voice, I've auditioned like 4 times, made it through to like the round like before you are on the actual live show. So like there's a whole process. If you make it through the first like round, then you like keep kind of auditioning for the producers, and then if you make it through, then that's when you get on the live. And no one understands that. So I'll be like, oh yeah, I auditioned. They're like, are you on TV? Where do I find it? I'm like, no, you can't. I'm not at that point yet. But it was interesting because The Voice dropped me at the same like spot as they did like the previous other times, and I never understood it. I still don't. I was gonna be on the actual live round, but then they were like, so you can only have one parent guardian go with you. My mom's disabled and she needs full-time care, so we couldn't leave her at the house. So my dad offered like, hey, I'll pay her way to the hotel room, whatever it is, like just let's go. And they're like, it can only be one person, so I didn't end up going. And that was Blake's last year on The Voice. And so I was like so excited, thinking I was gonna, and then it just didn't work out because of that. So I was really sad. But yeah, and then American Idol, I've gotten to that kind of same round like multiple times. Same thing happened. They dropped me before the live. So I don't know what's going on. Like you said, there's a lot of talent, but I find it interesting because if you watch the shows, sometimes there's people on there that I'm like, okay.
I do know what you mean though, because sometimes I am watching the show and there are some times where I'm like, oh, what an interesting song choice or interesting arrangement, or none of that was like on key. So sometimes I'm like, how do they make it that far? Or like some of my favorite contestants, they never make it that far. And I'm like, what about this one? He was so good, or she was like. That's why I love the blind auditions. but I don't really watch
past that.
Yeah, because all the good ones, like, they leave. And yeah, it's like I told you, like when I was in line trying to audition, there was just too much talent, and I'm like, okay, I know I'm not gonna make it, but I'm rooting for everyone here that they're so good, and they didn't make it either.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I wonder like the thought process and how they make it. But I think it's really cool that you've had such a cool experience with auditioning for so many different shows, and you're so young too. And the fact that you've been able to do that so young, imagine like the next like 10 years what you're able to do, eventually make it, you know?
Yeah, hopefully. We'll see. If it's in God's plan for my life, it'll happen. So I'm open to whatever it is I end up doing, for sure.
Yeah. How did you... This is a fun question I love asking all musicians, because I know you like to perform around town and stuff.
Yeah.
How did you start doing that? I know it's a scary thing, especially in the beginning. A lot of musicians, they're like, where do I begin? How do I start? How do I put my name out there? How was it for you in the beginning? How did you start performing in bars, restaurants, gigs, stuff like that?
Yeah, well, I was, like I mentioned earlier, I was blessed with my dad. And he was already kind of, you know, dabbling in the music scene, being a drummer. And so I kind of just tacked on to that, basically. And my dad started bringing me to his gigs and then telling his bands and the people that, you know, were hiring him, like, hey, my daughter can sing. And that's actually what happened is, like, we were at our house doing a rehearsal with his band, and I was like, Dad, can I sing a song? And he was like, okay, because he was originally teaching me the drums. And so I started playing drums. But then so he's like, okay, yeah, sure, sing, kid, like, whatever. And then I remember him telling me, like, I heard your vibrato, and I knew, like, we're working with that from now on. Forget the drums for a little bit. And that's kind of how it started. So, yeah, just around Monterey County, Salinas area, that's where I started singing. I started singing, like, Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star with, like, his bands. They just, like, played the chords to it or whatever, and then I'd be like, okay, bye. But, yeah, I don't know. That's just kind of how my whole thing started, was just because of my dad, really.
Wow. And guitar, when did that come into play? Because I know you play guitar, too.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. For years, my dad was like, you need to pick up the guitar, and I didn't want to do it. I just didn't. And so I actually, like, started playing guitar consistently about, maybe like 4 years ago now.
Wow.
So I'm pretty new to it still. I wouldn't consider myself a guitarist, but I do play guitar for our worship team and sing and stuff like that. So yeah, I just remember one day I was, like, staring at my guitar in the corner of my room, and I was, like, irritated because I was like, I still haven't tried to, like, consistently do this. I took a couple lessons at Wise Music in Salinas. I started out with classical and then dropped it. And then one day I just looked in that book at the chords, and I was like, okay, I'm going to try this. And then something clicked that time, and I haven't stopped since. So, yeah.
Wow. So you could read, too? You could read sheet music?
Not, like, actual, like, musical notation that much. Like, I have very limited knowledge on that, but I know chord progressions and, like, stuff like that. So I can, like, look up chord sheets and go off of that, and, yeah.
Did you stay playing drums, or did you...
Yeah, so, I mean, not as much. There was a time where I, like, literally didn't play for years, but I used to have my own drum set that would be in the way of, like, in our house of everything. But we got rid of that eventually because I outgrew it, because he got me, like, a little small one. But I stopped playing for years, but because my dad recently passed away, and obviously he loved the drums, I started picking it up again because I was like, I gotta keep playing drums.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so I've been kind of dabbling with it again more, and it's really awesome. I love it. So yeah.
Do you write as well? Do you write your own songs?
Yes, I haven't wrote in a while. It's interesting because I love writing just in general, and that was another thing my dad always told me, you gotta start writing your own songs. And for some reason I just didn't want to do it. I couldn't. Like, it was hard. Even though, like, again, I find writing really easy and I love it. But when it came to, like, writing a song, I was just like, this is too difficult. I'm overthinking it. This isn't making sense. But definitely picking up the guitar helped me with that. But I have a really weird relationship with writing music. For some reason, it is hard for me. I don't know why. Because I have a lot of things to write about, you know what I mean? But I just don't find myself consistently writing. I go through periods where I'm like really into it and I like just something clicks, and then there's other times where I'm like I don't even think about it. I'm just kind of going on doing my other things. But yeah, I do like writing. I know I need to pick that up more for sure, because that's what I want to do, is like produce my own music, and well, not produce it, but write my own music and get it out there and have people listen to that instead of me doing covers all the time. So
yeah, I've always struggled with writing too. I always had to be like inspired to write. Like either have to be like, I don't know, sad, mad. Like I have to be really inspired to like start writing. And I don't play, so I only wrote like melody and lyrics. So I could only like think of a melody and like write lyrics to it and start rhyming it. But I never like thought of the music part of it. Yeah. So when I became a music major, and all the other musicians, they would write differently. Like they write the music first and then the lyrics. So we'd like put it together.
That's really cool.
And it like all I would do is just show up and then sing the song, like the melody and lyrics to it, and then they would like hear it and like try to like find a rhythm with the guitar and the piano and stuff. And they're like, "Is this okay?" I'm like, "That's perfect. Like that's more than because I didn't have the ear for music." But yeah, I've been writing since I was like in middle school too.
Oh wow.
Like I have so many songs, but it's just I don't know what it'll sound like music wise. So that's why like when I want to put out music one day, I want to put out original stuff, but I don't play. Yeah, and I love covers too, but it's different when it's like your own story.
Absolutely. I feel like that is honestly really cool that you have like musicians that you can do that with. I want to do that. Like my ultimate goal is to have my own band that I can go on tour with, and we do our songs, and like I just want that same group every time. Like I don't want to have like different musicians. Like I just want that group to write with, go on tour with, like do that. That would be like the ultimate goal. But it's hard to find, well, at least for me, and again, like I've been doing this forever now, it feels like. It's hard to find musicians that are dedicated enough and that jive with you the same way and have the same goal in mind as well. So that's kind of something, I find that really cool, that you have people that you met through college that you can be like, hey, here's lyrics, this is kind of what I'm hearing, and then they're like, oh yeah, here, what about this? That's super cool to me. I love that. Yeah,
I want to go on tour too. That sounds like so much fun. To be able to travel and just to like perform, like super fun. Yeah, I want to do that too, but like it'd only be singing, like you said, like we need like a band. Yeah. Like players and stuff like that. That'd be super fun. What else did I want to ask you about? Gospel music and church music. Yep. I know you grew up singing in the church, and I know you have a project out. I actually listened to it. It was really, really good.
Oh, thank you.
I love the cover of it, and you were so young, right, when that came out, and your voice is still so strong and it's so good. I love it.
Thank you. Yeah, that was like, are you talking about Set Free? Yeah, that was a couple of, oh my goodness, time is flying. What the heck? Yeah, that was like 3 years ago now, if I'm accurate. So actually, interesting thing, I didn't start singing in the church. That was more of like a recent thing. So I busk a lot at the Wharf. Haven't in a while. I need to go back, but especially since I live like literally 15 minutes away now. But I was at the Wharf, and my pastor to the church that I sing at was walking by and was like, oh, I love your voice. Do you happen to sing worship? Are you Christian? I was like, yeah, I am, and I'd love to sing worship. And so I sang a few songs for him, and he was like, would you want to like sing worship at our church? Because we started out as a house church, and so I started going there to sing, and then we've moved on to where we're at now. But it's interesting because I didn't start singing at a church until like 4 or 5 years ago. Wow. Yeah. So it's become a huge part of my life now, and it's literally like one of my favorite things to do musically at all. It's actually what helped me like learn more guitar, because it pushed me to do something that we needed. And so I picked it up because of that, and then now like I'm doing it every Sunday, and it's helped me a lot. But yeah, worship is awesome. It's interesting because you were talking about the cover of the Set Free EP. Yeah. So the person that like designed it, I actually met at the Wharf. They saw me singing, and they like they're an artist, and they drew a picture of me and gave it to me.
What?
And then I followed them on Instagram, and like we've, you know, been kind of keeping in touch ever since. But I instantly thought of them when I was like, hey, I need somebody to do this art piece. And so another person from the wharf actually took the photo of me that inspired the picture, and then I had this idea of like the dove, you know, coming in with the sunshine, and so they made that like one whole thing. And so it's crazy because I made a lot of awesome connections at the wharf. Beautiful. And that just kind of goes back to like, I love this place. Like Monterey, the community here is amazing. I've really discovered that even more in like the business side of things, being here at CSUMB too. So it's really cool.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Gotta go to the wharf.
Yeah, literally.
All the best people are there.
Definitely.
Yeah. I grew up singing in church too, but not with the worship team. I'd always sing just from my seat.
Yeah.
I grew up going to Monterey Bay Christian Center for like a long time. Only sang with the worship team once or twice when there was like a little bit of people.
Yeah.
But I loved it. That was the first time I ever like kind of, fell in love with singing in a way, because that's the only genre of music where it's not hard to sing for me. Like it comes from like a place of innate of purpose and meaning.
Love it.
So it's not like hard to like hit notes and stuff, because you're singing about things that matter.
Yeah.
Any favorite worship songs? Any favorite songs from church?
Ooh, that's a good one, because it's funny because I went into it knowing like all of like the newer kind of worship, like Chris Tomlin and stuff like that. But one of our other guitarists that used to play with us, he brought in a lot of like older stuff that I had never heard of, and those have kind of become more of my favorite. There's a song called Shout to the North, and it's kind of like it has like a Celtic vibe to it. I love that song. And like, no, I've never heard of that before. But I think one of my like absolute favorites, and you actually mentioned this, I don't know if it's like on, if we recorded it or not, because I can't remember, but How Great Thou Art by Carrie Underwood.
Oh, yes.
Oh,
the best.
Every time. Tears every time. So I've got to say that one. And then trying to think, Holy Spirit. I don't know if you've heard of that one, but I'm going blank. I think it's like I'm trying to think of their name. Can't even think of who it's by right now. But it's one of the like more popular worship people. But yeah, Holy Spirit, that one's really good. I feel like it just really ushers in that presence and like, you know what I mean, sets the tone. So I really like that one for sure. I connect to it a lot.
Yeah. Since I was a kid, nothing but the blood of Jesus.
Oh yeah.
All the time. Obviously, Amazing Grace was a great one. Yeah. Carrie Underwood's album, My Savior. Every song there. She did phenomenal.
Oh my goodness.
Everything sounds so great.
Absolutely.
Hillsong United, I've loved throughout the years.
Yeah.
They have some great ones. Yeah, I love that you've kept it a part of who you are as well. And then you do your individual music as well. Talk to me about performing like around town. Do you have like a preference of like a setting or any favorite places to perform at?
So I actually just did a gig at Earthbound Farms in Carmel, and it was awesome because it was for like the Earth Day celebration event that they were doing. And I love like the outside setting where like the sun's out, everybody's like, you know, enjoying the weather, enjoying food and stuff like that, and like dancing. I love all that. So that was a really cool place. That's the first time I performed there. Definitely one of my favorites. Yeah, I don't know. I just really like when there's like a vibe and it's very open and like loving and kind of just like free-spirited. Like I love that. So I'm trying to think if there's like another spot that I mean, I already mentioned the Wharf, and that definitely carries that like open vibe, and like the weather's awesome, and you know, you're meeting new people and you're like, oh my gosh, like we have this connection or we relate in this way. And I think just being able to connect with the people and the children too, when they like are dancing and they're coming up, they like hold my hand or something, I'm like, my heart is melting right now. You guys are so precious. And it's awesome to see how music like inspires them. Yeah. And also there's people that have like come up to me like with their like husband, they're like, that was like the song that we like had at our wedding, and that was like the song, and
beautiful.
You just like brought back those memories, and like now we're crying, and it's like beautiful tears, and so I just love that. Any like environment or like spot that happens is gonna be my favorite. For sure. Yeah.
What are some songs that are staple on your set that you always have to perform?
That is funny. If anybody has ever came to like either like a gig that I've done, or I go to a lot of like jam sessions around here, always got to do Johnny Be Good. I don't know if you know that song.
I do.
But yeah, that's one of my staples. I sing it everywhere. More recently, I've been adding I Feel the Earth Move by Carole King. I do a lot of old stuff. So yeah, that one's like super, it's like fun to dance to. I like to do, what's it called? Make You Feel My Love by Adele. Beautiful. But it's originally written by Bob Dylan. I think that's why I like it so much too.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like a newer one, I guess, that I try to like put in there. But yeah, my set list is like a lot of old stuff. So it's a mixture of genres too. I can't just stick to one.
Your Bonnie Raitt cover is really good.
Oh, thank you. Oh yeah, Angel from Montgomery. Totally went over my head, but that's definitely
you
one.
Sing it for the class. I'm like, ooh, this is so good.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, I love that one. That was super cool. I was nervous. I was like, oh my goodness, Professor Bailey's asking me to perform for the class. Yeah. I don't know. I love that kind of like intimate like setting though too. That was cool. I hadn't really ever done anything like that. It's been like bigger venues and stuff like that. So I liked it though. So I don't know, maybe I need to do more of that too.
Yeah. What about like is there something that happened in one of your shows, like either you had an issue with like sound, or maybe your voice wasn't all there? Like what's like a bad show that you've done that you're like, that was horrible?
There's so many. You know, like when it comes to equipment, you never know.
I know.
And sometimes like the like Bluetooth setting won't work, so then you have to figure out the cables, and then if you don't have the cable, what are you gonna do? And like there's been so many things, but the first thing that came to my mind where nothing felt like it was going right, and by the grace of God I got through it, was also the national anthem. I know you can relate to this. I was like 8 years old, and it was my first time ever to sing the national anthem at the California Rodeo Salinas.
Oh my gosh.
And as you know, if you've been to the Salinas Rodeo, you know that it gets packed. Those stands were packed to the brim.
Yeah.
I had recently gotten sick. I had an ear infection. Everything that you can think. It was all horrible. I was on antibiotics. The day before, I could not hit the notes. My dad and I were panicking because this is a huge opportunity. This is awesome. There's going to be so many people. And now you're sick and you can't even sing the dang song.
Yeah.
The next day, I'm trying to practice again before the event. Almost not even being able to do it again. I get there, sing the song. It's on my YouTube. My YouTube is like an archive of like all of my stuff since when I was like a little girl to now.
Yeah.
I was singing the song, making it through. I had to stop to take a breath and swallow, and then return back to the middle of a word that I was singing, and then finished it out, and literally just stood there in awe afterwards, because the crowd was going crazy, and I was like, I can't believe I just did that. I was so nervous because I was like, I don't know how this is gonna happen. I couldn't sing the song 2 hours ago.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was definitely a miracle.
Oh my
because,
gosh.
Yeah. You can hear my dad in that video screaming, he was so happy that we made it through, and that we had the opportunity to do it. But yeah, that's the one I tell everybody when they ask me have you ever had any problems? I'm like, yeah, it's happened a lot. For some reason with the national anthem too, I don't get it. I always get sick for gigs that I have to sing the national anthem at, and then it's super hard because that song is crazy.
Yes.
So yeah, I know you know.
It is so hard to sing. 2 weeks ago, I got sick 2 days before the anthem. It was so bad, had no voice. Even the day of, I'm sipping tea, honey, trying to get to it. The sound check was horrible. Nothing would come out of my voice. I'm just oh my God, I got to get through this. I wasn't even nervous. Usually I get a little nervous about things like that. Not an ounce of nervous. I just want to get through it.
Yeah.
And I think it just was the adrenaline.
Mm-hmm.
And I just say Jesus Christ himself, because he got me through it.
Exactly.
And I was able to hit the notes, because like 2 seconds after, I can't talk. I can't even sing.
Right.
So I'm like, something happened there that I was able to like hit the notes.
Yeah.
And I don't even know how that happened. But it just gets me mad, because I'm like, I worked so hard. I was doing so good.
Yes.
And all of a sudden, just like that. And I'm like, oh, shit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it can be hard sometimes being a singer, because it's like stuff like that is out of your control.
Yeah.
You can't, you know what I mean? I don't, it gets scary sometimes.
Yeah. And people don't worry as much as we do, because we know our voice and we know that we need to be A+.
Right.
Everyone else is like, you'll be fine. Like, you don't understand.
No, exactly. It's nerve-wracking when you're like, I can't do it right now.
Yeah.
Like, I know I practice and everything, and I know what I'm capable of, but my body's just not working with me right now.
Yeah.
So.
One of my dream performances, though, is to do the rodeo, actually.
Oh, really?
I've auditioned for the past 3 years.
Oh, my goodness.
I haven't gotten it yet.
Okay.
But the guy in charge always gives me a call. He's like, it's not that you're not good. It's just so many people audition, and I'm trying to give everyone a fair shot.
Yeah.
So please do it again next year.
Yeah.
So I've been doing it, and hopefully I'll get it eventually.
Yeah,
because that's like such a big event in this area.
It is.
And it'd be like a cool moment, because I grew up going to the rodeo all the time. I love going there, dressing up. So I'm like, oh, I really want to perform there one day.
Well,
so that's a goal.
You keep doing it for sure. It was super cool. Fun fact, I'm there every year singing with the California Rodeo Band.
Oh, you are?
Yeah, I'm part of the band.
So I've probably seen you, and I didn't even know.
I was going to say, you've probably seen me, because I've been with the band for like 11 years now.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Well, look out for me. I always have a baked potato on me.
Okay. Oh, yes.
Eating a baked potato.
Yes. Yeah, Ivan's Baked Potatoes. Did you know on the Thursday farmers market thing that they have here, Ivan's Baked Potatoes comes, and they're little truck, and you can get their potatoes?
Where?
It's
Which
right
farmers
in
market?
lot 71.
Oh, here.
Here on campus.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I know they come to some of the soccer games that they do here.
Oh, really?
I saw them there.
Okay. I freaked out the first time I saw the truck. I was like, no way, because I thought I could only get Ivan's Baked Potatoes once a year at the rodeo, but think again, because they're here. So, yeah.
Good to know. I was talking about them today, actually, because I wanted a baked potato for lunch.
Oh my goodness.
And we got some in Marina, but they were not as good. I'm like, this did not satisfy my craving.
Yeah.
They're the best.
Absolutely.
Talk to me about your musical influences and musical inspirations. Who inspired you growing up, either vocally or musically or songwriting wise?
Yeah, so I think I already mentioned Carrie Underwood was definitely the first. But the first band, I think, funny enough, was Leonard Skinner.
Oh, wow.
And my favorite song from them was Sweet Home Alabama. So that was another one that was always on my set list as a kid. I haven't done it as much anymore, just because it's okay, I think we've gotten our fill of Sweet Home Alabama. But so Leonard Skinner was a big one. Their bass player actually was one of my influences to pick up the bass. I picked up the bass for a little bit. Haven't really done much with that since, but I really like their songs. I feel like they're a really good mix of rock, southern rock, and kind of with a little country in there. But I grew up listening to classic rock with my dad. So one of my favorite bands is Rush. I don't know, no one probably knows that, but I don't know how I ended up singing country stuff. I think it is because around here country is super big. So in order to sing with the bands, I needed to know old Western country music.
Got it.
It's funny because I think what started my love for music was actually classic rock and stuff like that. So definitely Rush, I already mentioned them, and then Aerosmith, love them. Got to see them at the rodeo actually when I was a kid.
Oh, wow.
They performed there, so that was cool. Some country artists besides Carrie Underwood, I'm going to get kind of old on us now, is Tanya Tucker, Loretta Lynn.
Perfect.
Definitely picked up some stuff from them.
Yeah.
And then there is actually a local, well, she's not local anymore, but she grew up in Pacific Grove. Her name's Haley Jane. I met her and actually got to sing a song with her at one of her gigs. She was playing at, I think the place is called like Rio or something in Carmel. Okay. I don't know. That's like in the barnyard. Okay. I don't know. Maybe that's not the name. I don't know. Don't quote me. But she was a huge inspiration to me, like a couple years ago too, with songwriting and stuff like that. And she kind of does like kind of theatrical-ish, very like almost like psychedelic kind of thing. But her songwriting is awesome, and I connected to her lyrics a lot. Like her lyrics I just found really relatable and inspiring. And just the way she performs too. She puts on a show, and I really love that. So definitely Haley Jane has been a more recent inspiration to me. Definitely look her up. She's super cool. Haley Jane and the Primates are an awesome team.
Nice.
But she's been like in the East a lot. She hasn't come back, and I really want her to, because I want to see her again and like hear her and watch her perform, because it's always just awesome to me. So
what was the first concert you ever went to, and then what's a dream concert that you want to go to one day?
Okay. First concert, I don't even remember. It definitely had to be something classic rock, like, or like metal or something. Like, I don't know. It had to be something, because I was with my dad all the time. I don't know. Seeing Aerosmith was definitely one of my like bigger concerts. I got to see Quiet Riot at the Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk. Cool. Because they used to do like the concerts in the summer, like every weekend, and we would love to go to that. So I've seen a lot of people there. I don't know. And then I'm just gonna stick with those for like my first concerts, because I don't really remember. I went to watch a lot of more like local music scene. That's kind of where I got my concert feel from, was just learning from people around here in our community. But I'm gonna see Lady Gaga in June.
You got tickets to the
Me and my aunt.
Mayhem tour?
And I'm freaking out.
That's
because
perfect.
I didn't mention her, but literally as a kid, she was like my favorite artist. I love listening to her songs, dancing around with my cousin and everything. Like, we would do choreographed like production in order to convince our family to let us have a sleepover. Like, that's the cousins we were to Lady Gaga. So the fact that I get to see her, I'm so excited. So I guess, like, I don't know, that if I could pick to see a band in concert that like they're not like performing anymore, I have a couple. Definitely Rush. Unfortunately, Neil Peart is not with us anymore. But maybe like Typo Negative. I feel like that'd be super cool. And then like Carrie Underwood, obviously, and then Lady Gaga, which I'm gonna be able to do, which is super cool. It's all over the board with me. You can't but that would be super cool.
That's amazing. My first concert was Selena Gomez.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
My cousin loves her, and she came from Puerto Rico to visit for a summer, and we were going to San Diego for the zoo and do all that stuff, and turns out Selena was doing a show the same time we were there, so we're like, we have to go. And we went. It was like 2014, 2015. Amazing. A dream concert that I've always wanted to go to, that I haven't. I've loved Shawn Mendes since I was a kid. Always loved him. Like, I wanted to sing just like him. I wanted to be just like him. And growing up, like, I made sure like my range was the same as his. Like, I try to match him in every single song. So he's a big influence and inspiration to me. And I've had tickets 2 previous times. One tour got canceled, and then the other one, I think also got canceled or something like that.
What is going on?
Yeah, one was like during COVID, another one was like for his mental health that he canceled that tour.
Oh, okay.
So he dropped an album last year, but there's no tour yet. So
you're like, where is it, John?
He's on my dream list. Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be super cool.
But some of my inspirations is Adele, Kelly Clarkson, Ed Sheeran. I love Sam Smith. I love, and I've been able to see all of them, which that is so super cool.
Yeah, I haven't been to that many concerts. It's a little irritating. I definitely want to start going more, but I think starting off with Lady Gaga this summer is going to be On point.
Yeah, I was looking at tickets last week. Yeah, because Chase Center, right, San Francisco.
Yeah, yep.
And she's doing like 2 or 3 shows.
Yep.
I was looking at the tickets. I'm like, oh, I have to go.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. What's the first album you ever bought or received? I love asking musicians this one.
I feel like it was probably a Carrie Underwood album, but I don't remember. Okay, wait, no. I gotta hold on. Let me pull it up in my iTunes. My iTunes is like an archive of all of the stuff Little Me
oh my God, my
used
iTunes
to listen
too.
to, and then Spotify is like more updated.
Yeah.
Here it's like funny. I have the album in my mind, but I can't think of it. Let's see. Here it is right here. Carrie Underwood's The Greatest Hits Decade Number 1.
Oh, wow.
This one right here.
I remember that cover.
Yeah. And then the other one was the Sweet Home, or not the Sweet Home Alabama, but the Leonard Skinner one. Let's see if I can find it here. It was like there was a specific like album I remember, like I had like the CD for it. And then another one was like a Taylor Swift one too. My dad always used to like give me CDs in my stocking for Christmas.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, so anyway, that was probably the first album.
Nice. The first album, so my parents bought me, Ashley Tisdale. Ashley Tisdale from High School Musical. She's Sharpay.
Oh, okay. I was like, that sounds familiar.
Sweet Life of Zack and Cody. She was in that.
Oh my gosh. Okay, yeah.
I was a big fan of her as a kid, so they bought me her album.
Oh, that's cute.
And then the one I bought on my own was Thriller, Michael Jackson.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wait. That's cool.
Yeah, I think I was maybe like 11 or 12.
Love it.
Like I saw them and I'm like, I have to get Thriller. Like I know every song on there.
Well, there you go. Yeah, one of my childhood best friends loved Michael Jackson, so I learned a lot of his songs through her, which is super cool. Yeah.
One of my last questions was any goals for you, either as a person or as a musician, that you want to accomplish in the next couple years?
That's a really good question. Definitely, like, as a musician, I would say is just writing more original songs, and not just writing them, but getting them recorded and putting them out there. It's been really hard trying to balance everything, but I think definitely in the next couple of years, that would be, like, a good goal to achieve, is putting something else that's recorded that people can stream out there. That I wrote. I have like a handful of songs that are ready to go to the studio. I just haven't found the people that I want to be on it. I haven't, brought it to that point yet. But yeah, like on a personal level, outside of being a musician, like a student and stuff like that, I think just being able to slow down in life because things have been happening so quickly.
Yeah.
I'm like, where has the time gone? Like, every day I find myself like, wait a minute. What? I'm already moving out, like, for the summer? I thought I was just moving in to CSUMB. Like, where did the time go? So much has changed. So much has happened. So I think being able to kind of slow down and really take everything in as it's happening, and just staying true to being, like, at peace too, and making sure that I'm doing things that is authentic to me and not having my own back basically is, I feel like, a lot of that. So that's kind of my goals personally outside of the music world.
Yeah, that's a great one. That's one of mine too. Like, I've been trying to slow down for a minute, because time just flies when you're like on the go and so busy all the time. Like, I was telling myself, I'm like, I can't wait till, like, I'm done with school. Yeah, I'm working a lot, but also, like, doing the podcast, doing music, and having a bunch of crazy stuff. Like, time just flies when you're super, super busy. So I want to slow down, too, because I'm already 25, and I'm like, where did that happen?
Exactly,
I don't know where that came from. And last one is, any advice to your younger self? I know a lot of people love to ask that, but I think it's cool to, like, look back at who you were when you were younger, and to think, like, oh my God, like, I've done so much since then, and I've improved so much since then. So any advice to your younger self?
I would say, that's a really good question. I feel like I have a lot of new advice to give my younger self. Not that like I was making a whole bunch of mistakes or anything, but I think just making sure to listen to my intuition and like standing behind that is really important, because I feel like there was a lot of times where like I knew I needed to do something, or that I shouldn't do something, or whatever it was, and then I didn't follow through with that, and then I had to deal with the consequences of that, which haven't like really been like huge or anything, but it meant a lot to me. So I think just like not being afraid to completely like rely on my intuition and really like hone into that and listen to it above anything else is really, I think, advice that younger me could have like been inspired by.
Yeah, I thought of another one before we finish up.
Yeah, of course.
The arts in itself, right, and music and all that, a lot of people like to talk down on it and like to tear people down and not believe in them. I can't tell you the amount of times like I would tell people, oh, I'm a singer, and they give me that look.
Yeah. Or
I'm a music major, and they give me that look as well, like, oh, like do something more serious or more professional. What would you give advice to someone that wants to become a musician or pursue that without having to pay attention to what other people have to say about it?
I think just do it.
Yeah.
Just do it regardless.
Because it's your life. Yeah.
Yeah, it's your life. And also, if it's something that you're passionate about, fruit is going to come from that. You know what I mean? And like, regardless of what people are telling you not to do. I think, again, like music is super therapeutic. It heals. It like brings unity. So just do it. Even if it doesn't become like a super reliable source of like income or whatever else you may be looking for in it, still do it for yourself and for what it brings to the community around you and the people that you love, because it will definitely have a positive impact if you're doing it with like pure intentions and just for the joy of it. Because I think music really is like something that humans need, honestly. It's, that's kind of my take on that.
Beautiful. And from what I can tell, you've had lots of support from your family since you were very young, and very supportive of you in your music career.
Super blessed for that. Absolutely.
Has there been anyone at all that's like talked down on you or like made you feel like you weren't either talented enough or good enough?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, you're putting yourself out there in public eyes, and you're singing, and as a young kid too, you're not gonna be this super professional, even if you are really good as a kid, that honestly could be a perfect point for adults who don't know what they're talking about and think they do to come to you and try to give you unsolicited advice that will tear you down. And so, that's definitely happened. And thankfully, because of the support that I had and knowing that, like, I love to sing and, like, I feel like this is who I am. It's part of, like, what I do. Yeah. It didn't bother me as much. And I'm thankful for that, because there could have been multiple opportunities where somebody said something and it has irritated me. It has bothered me before, but I don't give it that life. Yeah. So I don't give their words meaning. I didn't give their words meaning enough to like make me stop. So thankfully.
Same thing with hate comments and online comments. The amount of shit I've read on YouTube.
Dude, people
could be mean.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, I don't even know you. Like, what?
Exactly. Yeah, and exactly. I don't know. Yeah, for sure. People can get crazy with social media, and it's hard because now the music world is heavily reliant on social media promotion and I mean, we're streaming our music online. You know what I mean? So it can be hard because people like to be big and brave behind their screens. And they probably wouldn't say that to your face if, they were there in person. So
I've always said that. I'm like, I think it's such a cheap shot to be behind your phone or laptop and type something. I'm like, I'd rather someone say it to my face.
And it's always people that have nothing to do with the music industry. They don't
know what they're talking about.
Exactly. So, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, good way to end it. Thank you so much.
Sure, of course. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Like I said, this was for like a final project. Mm-hmm. Thank you for being a part of it. But I'm going to use this for my podcast too. So
absolutely.
I'd love to. Thank you for being a part of it. Thank you.
Thank you for having me again. Yes.
Thank you.